This is Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered, the original Modern Warfare game, and one of the most iconic games ever created in terms of what it did for the first-person shooter franchise, and, well, just genre in general. So this is the remastered version of Call of Duty 4. Be sure to like the video, subscribing's great as well. So what we're getting here is a dynamic 1080p, which should just be locked to 1080p since the Series S gives you a little bit more overhead, 60 FPS, and yeah, you'll smoothly be achieving that offering here with this particular release, which I think is fantastic. So with this game, it is just such a truly iconic experience. I absolutely loved what this had to offer back in the day. It blew my mind. I played it for years. This also has not only the single player campaign, there's also the multiplayer, so we'll be showing that off later as well, so that you can see both sides of the action, well, in action. So the campaign follows basically our sort of battle into like the Middle East, taking out these threats. But there's also a looming problem in the backdrop that you'll have to deal with. It's epic, it's action-packed, it's over the top. It was very, very cinematic in terms of its focus, gameplay-wise, and it really set the stage for gameplay in the modern era. You know, it was huge for the prestige system, the class system, the multiplayer, the epic style of campaigns, which were super, you know, stylistic in their design and what they provided. And I think it's just absolutely a fantastic game that with its grittiness, its design, it still holds up today. It's absolutely phenomenal and a must-play experience. So what we got here with this remaster was, you know, keep in mind, not like a remake of the experience, but something that upgrades the visual fidelity, adds more detail to the environments, and just basically makes the game look much better than it ever originally did. This is a huge upgrade over that offering, and it just looks absolutely fantastic for what it is. You know, obviously it could be a bit sharper with the extra, you know, tech and stuff we have today, but I think for the release at the time, it was a pretty good upgrade over what we had. You know, if you go back and play the original, it doesn't necessarily hold up as well as this one does. So it is nice to have this offering available, because again, not only do you get the campaign, there's also that multiplayer, which is fantastic. So this game, like I mentioned, is gritty, it's visceral, it's got some really intense moments to it, and neat combat as you move through linear settings, battling against your various foes, taking on the threats that are present, and doing so in a very grounded, realistic sort of fashion. You know, this really was the conflict of the time, and then it really blew out into an even bigger war, which was kind of interesting as the overall trilogy continued. At the current point in time, there is a remaster of the second game that is also available, so keep that in mind if you want to continue, and then for the third one, you still have to play that original version, but there's been rumors of a remaster of that one for years, so hopefully that eventually happens as well. So yeah, the campaign brings a good selection of different levels. It's something you could probably sit there and play through in, you know, a session and whatnot. I don't think it would be too bad in that regard, and it's very worthwhile in doing so. This is a little bit more, kind of intense than I always remember when I go back to this one. How are we losing? are we getting flanked here? I'm so confused by the enemy forces kind of pushing from behind. Okay, we're just gonna cut straight down that middle. There's a bunch of different difficulty options that are present too if you want more of a threat or whatnot. There's also collectibles to find in the form of intel that you can come across within the experience. And it's just sort of a neat run, gun, battle, and try to survive setup across a number of different, like, I even want to say, like, fronts. Like, some of the locations are more limited in scope and compared to the later games, but you still actually go through a bunch of different, like, locations battling and trying to, you know, take over the different locations and whatnot. It very much was intense. It's got some really crazy focused tactical moments. You know, there's one where you're sort of like up in the air, one might say, or another where you're crawling through the grass. What the heck? What? where you're crawling through the grass, the gillies in the mist. Sorry, I'm just like a really kind of like, what was that thing that, like, you know, did that damage to me way over there? I think we accidentally friendly fired there. My bad, guys. It happens, though. So I think they had a neat villain here, and I think they set up a bigger overall story thing that really launched into what was one of my favorite franchises. Continues to be, you know, even within the Call of Duty series. I love the Modern Warfare games. This game has incredible, like, sentimental value to me in terms of what it provides. It is, oh, damn, my bad again, guys. It is a super memorable time. It was just like a big moment for changing really how we, I guess you would say, even like interacted with games going forward. Just like this was such a benchmark for changing so many different experiences. It really was utterly fascinating how this one set that standard for so many games. You know, every once in a while you get a game that comes out that's just so big and influential. And I think it really catapulted the Call of Duty series to, you know, the status it is today. Obviously, it's a big series, right? But there was something about this one that just really, really kind of hit that mark perfectly. And this remaster for it does just a great job. Bulletproof glass, unbelievable. A great job presenting that story and then adding to the grit. Like, sometimes you might think that, you know, when they do these types of things that they change some of the aesthetic of it, but I think this really did get that style down. Just really improved it in many ways, keeping, you know, that original version of it and just adding to it. That's the important part when you do remasters, is not to, you know, wreck that initial vision, but to increase the value of it and whatnot. So I think they did perfectly there. They really, really did. They nailed that aspect of it. It continues to be fun today, just like rolling through the campaign. You know, we go and do some live streams and stuff with the multiplayer all the time. It's a great experience. It really is. I'm trying to run in here before the true chaos starts, because, you know, this place is just going to be swamped. Oh, wow, look, the desktop's very nice. So, yeah, kind of a wild campaign, one might say. Crazy times, really, really. And it feels almost like, I think I just shot my guy in the back of the spine, I'm so sorry. Like, it seems almost small and intimate in comparison to how grand in scale the later games get. Like, this one, you know, was just this smaller sort of, I guess you would say, vision, and then it becomes like this huge global spread warfare scenario, and I think that is really, really cool. Like, this one kind of leans almost into regular forces and a little bit of special ops, but, you know, by the time you get to the Modern Warfare 3, it's like a globe-spanning scenario. And, you know, they also kind of, like, rebooted things as well later on, right? Modern Warfare Remastered 2019, and then also, you know, probably Modern Warfare 2.2 as well down the road. But I think this original series, for me, will always hit the mark. I think it holds up beautifully well. I love this campaign. I love the characters that are presented here. I like the premise of what they set up with this conflict, and it's just neat to have like a set trilogy that you can enjoy if you work through, you know, each of the games and whatnot. I think we're supposed to go this way. Are we supposed to go down? I think there might be like an enemy or two. The second floor? Okay, but where are we moving up to this next floor? Did I actually miss it down this hallway and we're supposed to actually go up this way? Because that would make a lot of sense. No, where is the squad all coming in here? Okay, is it over here? Guys, couldn't just open the door without me? Move, move, move! We've got conflict. It would have been easier just to like break through the glass in the front here. I think it would have saved us some time, no? Yeah, what do I know? I'm just here to fight it out against these forces. Yeah, rolling along. Oh yeah, I think with that, it's about time we switched over to... Wait, is there an oil rig all the way out there? I don't remember that being there originally. Let's switch over to the multiplayer and, kind of take a look at what that has to offer. So this is the multiplayer portion of the experience. We jumped right to it. So obviously it's all of the maps, including the PC festive crash. So there is a crash. Well, it's Christmas crash. And it's all snowy and it's got Santa going ho 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 when he's dropping the airstrikes down. But yeah, the iconic multiplayer is here, playing essentially the exact same as it did back in the day. The basic kill streaks, which again were kind of groundbreaking at the time. Well, they were groundbreaking at the time. The guns, the weapons, but now we've added, new cosmetic options that are present for the gun skins, which isn't a big deal. But they do have the microtransaction loot crates that are present within this experience. So keep that in mind, that they are present, but you don't have to, purchase them. You can just, earn credits. It takes, I think it's like a couple hour and a half or something, or a few hours maybe for, loot crate or whatnot. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, you kind of just get things. They did add some new guns, which is a little bit weird and, a little heresy, I would say, in regards to changing the game up, but people don't really use them too much, so it's not a big deal. And then they added, new melee-type weapons. They did add some fresh maps, so they did a couple seasonal things. I wish they would have done more seasonal things, but I think it was a very last-minute kind of decision to be like, oh, I guess we gotta support this game because all of a sudden people are really into it and we don't want to miss out on potential money here, right? Because it was going up with Infinite Warfare and it was cutting into that player base, and obviously that's a big issue, right? You want your primary COD making those dollars, like I mentioned. So that was something, but we did end up getting a downpour where it's like an Luck of the Irish downpour where it's sunny instead of rainy, and then there was beach bog. It was bog, but it was beachy. So it wasn't like they added new play spaces. It was just kind of like they took existing play spaces and visually remodeled them. So that's fine. They're new arenas to play in. They look different. They feel different. I think that's, I didn't have an issue with that. So all of the iconic class setups are here. It keeps things basic enough. It does add new game modes you can play. Deathmatch seems to be the primary thing where you're going to be finding people in it. Maybe the domination, maybe some hardcore modes. But if you want to play specialty playlists at the current time, it's pretty dead. It's Team Deathmatch is your best bet. But it is nice that we can still come in here and experience, this game. I mean, I love this game. I love this series so much. This really truly ignited my love for it. I mean, I was kind of started with COD 3, which was before this, and initially I was like, oh, I don't know about this, and I got into it. I'm like, wow, this is truly a remarkable game, and I guess we'll just wait till the next match to keep going here. This was one of the maps I was mentioning where they did a whole redo. So you can see this is bog, but instead of night, it's day, and it's beachy instead of all dirt and whatnot, so kind of a nice touch. But yeah, it's got the iconic weapons that you love, the iconic progression that you probably enjoyed and worked through back in the day. It's just been visually upgraded and enhanced. They literally sat there and they touched up all of the maps. All of them look beautiful. They all, they still have that gritty look, but all of them are, at par of the time of this release in terms of visual quality. I definitely appreciated that, and I think it still looks good today. It still feels good. It's nice that the weapons sort of have this almost unique sort of randomness and jank a little bit to them. It's they don't shoot as smooth and clean as these newer titles seem to. So I always appreciate that aspect of the experience, that it does actually still come across as iconic. They didn't fiddle around with things too much, and the way they did, was kind of proper and just keeping things up to date. I definitely like that. All the normal little, kind of glitchy fun spots are present too, and yeah, it just really is more of that continued experience that I grew up with, basically, and I loved. I mean, I hit full 10th prestige, and I think I was even playing on a secondary account, leveling up again back in the day, and this one's got a bazillion prestiges. I don't think I have all of those done. Definitely don't, with only deathmatch being, kind of present at this current point in time. But I've been doing some good leveling in it, and I've been getting my time and getting my value, and it's it's really heartwarming to be able to continue to go back and play this game that, you know, has given me so much good times with, you know, myself or with friends or against others. It's a truly remarkable experience. I do wish we had some little more upgrades here or there. Like I said, additional long-term support would have been really nice on this one, you know, for some more updates and seasonal things. But I do appreciate what they did, because nothing, in my opinion, took away from what this game was. It just kind of added to it, outside of maybe like the loot crates. But again, not too bad as long as you're not, I guess, buying things, right? That's the biggest thing, is like, you know, it doesn't impact the experience negatively, although it is kind of like, ugh. But it's mostly just like skin type things, and unless you're really trying to get all the skins, I don't think it's too much of a problem. Oh, jeez. But yeah, I love creating my different classes, using the different weapons. I do wish there was more of a player base in some of the different modes. You know, I'd love to do, I guess you would say, well, I guess Search still has some people occasionally, but yeah, I'd love to do some headquarters and stuff. I like those ones. Prop Hunt's in this too. Prop Hunt's pretty fun, but I don't think you can really get players for that one. So yeah, they did add to the experience, that is for sure. But it's that good old Modern Warfare. Like, really, you might even say the series almost peaked at this point. Well, the original. But it was such a monumentally important game for like shooters in general. I'd say that almost all of the shooters today, outside of like 1 or 2 changes, are still emulating the different types of innovations that this game brought. It's remarkable how innovative this title was, and it's just as crazy that we really have not left this template. Seriously, like, you know, kind of like prestiging, leveling, perks, classes, the progressional system is basically almost the exact same today as it is, you know, at this time. And you can even look at like the Call of Duty that's released right now, and you'll be like, oh wow, you know, all those foundations are still present from this game. And I think that's remarkable. And I don't know if the, you know, I guess the movement and everything is perfectly up to par to the shooters of today. I mean, it feels a lot slower, which I like, actually. I like that it's not, you know, go, 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 go. It actually, it is still go, 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 but it's not, you know, as blazing fast. And I almost appreciate that more, that it is something that, you know, kind of takes its time, provides some fun, offers many good moments to it. I look forward to being able to continue to play this into the future every now and then. I think that's nice. I hope it, you know, gets a pickup at some point too. I think that would be great. And hopefully people do stick around for this one, because it is something that offers good value. I think even with the lower player base, you can still get a good feel for what this game is. It was also nice getting like permanent prestige options as well with this one. Punishes you a little less for prestiging. That's right, like I prestige, I was like, oh no, recently. I was so worried, and then I was like, oh, you know what, we got the prestige token things, so my class is, you know, essentially the exact same when I prestige, right? I don't lose anything. That's awesome. But you gotta work towards that. I do have like claymores and stuff, I just never really seem to use them because it's deathmatch, so it's not like I'm setting up and camping or anything like some people might. Yeah, that aspect of it is a little bit weird, because I used to just play like a lot of headquarters, a lot of search and destroy. So a lot of what you would do in this game was, you know, based around claymores and that kind of combat. That was a big part of the experience, was doing that. And I guess we'll have to show off another bit of another little match here. And we're finishing off with the magical Winter Crash. So keep in mind, this was actually on the PC version. It just never came to consoles. So, you know, it's kind of cool that this one's available. I'm sure a lot of people were very shocked when it happened, that this was made part of the package. Like, this wasn't like a post-launch map for this game, it just came with the remastered release, and I was like, oh yeah. Because I remember playing on PC like years back, and I was like, what is this map? I'm like, I've never seen this before. And it was just like a thing that was a part of the game. I couldn't believe it. Because, you know, you only play on console, you get kind of locked out, or you get like a limited view of the overall experience, which is A bit of a shame, I guess, but things are a little different now for Call of Duty, right? Like, you do get this little package. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this look at Modern Warfare Remastered, a classic Call of Duty experience. And again, liking the video, subscribing is great. Good luck out there on the Call of Duty Battlefront.